Well, hello. Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I am Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, here to help guide you on your burning adventures. And I'm joined with my hubby, Jason,
Hubcap.
here to help read the comments to me so I can see what's going on.
That's my job.
That's your job. I hope everybody is doing well and can hear. Today we are going to work on the feather and the middle part of the quill, and I did get some photos. Just so you know, we are working on the still life still, and this is the feather we're going to be working on. I guess it helps if I show it to you guys.
Wow, that was quick. You drew that right on there.
I drew it right on there. I'm getting better at this. So
It's crooked though. How are you going to undo that?
well, there. Now it's not crooked. It's the same. There you go. Okay,
What kind
so
of dark magic is this?
I'm not going to give up my sources. Hopefully we're zoomed in enough.
Wait, is this real?
It's real.
I don't know what's real anymore.
So if you notice, not all of the feathers dark. We've got the light. I guess I should have looked up what the names of all the parts are. But the base of the quill is light, and it goes off into light feathers.
I know the words because I am an artist.
So is that so?
You've got the hard pointy thing, and then you got the soft thingies that help the bird fly.
Well, I think
And then there's the fluffy thingies that are below the soft thingies.
all the thingies, huh?
Grace says, just line it up and you're done. She's talking about your overlay.
Like
that.
that.
Yeah. Yay,
Yay,
done.
all done.
Cool. High five, early stream.
All done.
Well, Eve and Grace are here.
Hi, Eve. Hi, Grace.
There's a third person, but... Oh, it's me. Never mind. Don't laugh at me.
Okay, we are going to start, I think,
Okay, you can laugh at me.
with the colwood, the flat round shader, and we're starting off at a number 2, and it is turned on. And giving it, I can so hear that. You
What?
said you're going to be quiet.
What?
I bet you they all heard.
I gotta eat breakfast. It's the most important meal
Why
of the
do
day.
you wait until the live to eat breakfast? Okay, so I've got my photo. And on the black and white, let's see here, I can pop that up too. You're not being... There we go, there's the black and white. We can see it better. This area is lighter.
Eve says crunch. I don't know what
See?
she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. And we've got the white part here, and it won't be burning as dark. So I think we're just going to start off at the top. Here, we are going to put some lines in, but for now, it would be easier just to shade it and then get our details in. Oh, one thing I did want to do, because of this graphite paper, I want to see how much I can lessen on what's on here.
Wait,
It doesn't look like a whole lot.
you should be able to burn over that though, right?
I can, but it can show up under the burning, especially if it's a light area burn. It will show up. And if you watch the speed video for the sketchbook, where I finish it up, I showed you how to do a straight line using a mirror. Today I am going to do that with a piece of glass that I got out of a picture frame.
Well, that's true. We have plenty of picture frames, don't we?
Yeah, this is a little one though. It's just enough that I can move around the wood without cutting myself.
Hmm.
And the trucks are loud today too. Goodness. Yeah, unfortunately, because of the outline and this not coming off, I actually might have to or sand some of this pencil line. Ugh, let's take a look at that. I'm going to use 400
400 what?
grit sandpaper.
Ah.
Hopefully this is 400.
You have 5 watching now.
Yay.
They're not saying anything.
Talk to us.
You're
Alright.
looking in the darkness. Come out. We know you're there.
You're in rare form.
Hmm?
So this is
I
going
just
to
got blood taken and I'm lightheaded.
Oh, that's true. Because unfortunately there's not enough shadow behind the feather to work it in.
Grace says it looks a lot lighter than before on camera.
I kind of messed with the settings so that we could see it better.
Hmm.
Let's see if that's smearing pencil into the wood. I think we're okay. Yeah, I won't be using this graphite paper again. In the past, I used it with no problem, but for whatever reason...
You think it's the wood?
No, because Joshua was having the same problem. If Joshua didn't have the problem, then I would wonder if it was the wood.
And for the benefit of chat, I'm just going to say Joshua is your nephew who you're teaching to burn.
Yes.
Wait, do pyrography. See, you got me doing it.
Haha. I mean, the feather part here will get darker, especially on this side, but I won't be able to fade it out because it's light in the background. So, that's quite the pain. This is, again, 400. I'm going with the grain.
Grace says I'd say sandpaper did the job.
It is lightening it pretty good.
Well, that's
I
good.
mean, I could take it completely off, but then I won't have any lines.
Ah.
And then the eraser takes off the leftover stuff. It's making all kinds of noise today.
Your sandpaper makes this weird crunching noise.
Sure. The dogs aren't here for you to blame, so blame the sandpaper. Now, into the book, I can kind of fade things and blend, but where there's light, I won't be able to do that. And the box overall is light too, so...
It's always interesting to me when you transition, like when you're doing something in color. You're obviously everything in real life is color, but in color. But then you're having to do it in black and white because the box is red. So then it comes down to value.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I have the black and white photos so that I can see that contrast better. I mean, I can do it without the black and white, but sometimes you've got to hurry up and burn something, but at the same time you want to get it right. It's just easier to have it already transferred over that way. Okay, so we'll get started again. And if you notice the 400, though I didn't press hard, it did take a little bit of the burn. That's okay.
Andrew's here.
Hi, Andrew.
He says, hi, Bella, Jason, everyone. He's still having problems with sound.
Oh, no.
He says it's a common problem with Google Chrome and YouTube. I can't hear a thing, but I'm able to watch. Missed you last week. Side face.
Well, we miss you too. Missed you too.
Hopefully he'll be able to
Figure it out.
Yeah, and if he can watch YouTube, then he can watch the... I mean, it doesn't help not being able to hear the audio live, but he can watch the video after it posts, I suppose.
Yeah.
You hear what we said to him.
We can't exactly... Because I was going to ask if he's watching it on the YouTube app, or if he's watching it... Because if he's watching it through Google, even on my on the tablet, it's the volume's lower for whatever reason.
Well, Paul's here, and he's having technical issues too. It took him,
Hey, Paul.
he says, 20 flipping minutes to sign in tonight.
Oh, goodness.
Only work on Chrome.
Huh. But Eve and...
They're reporting that they can hear and see fine.
Oh, good. Because I just did a lot of talking. Didn't want to start over. Alright, so I'm just trying to get...
Well, Eve can hear and see. I don't know about Grace.
So we've got Canada and...
No, Grace, yes.
Seattle covered.
Grace can hear too.
See, I can still see my pencil lines, and that is bothering me. But this part does go darker, so we should be okay. And then on this part, there is some different shading, but we're going to put the base shading down first. And then we can put in the detail.
Okay. That's going fast.
I am too touching it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching another screen. Ah, it's so confusing.
I'm about to say I'm burning.
We have like what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 versions of this going in different windows, and then plus you.
No, I'm always looking at the OBS version to make sure that I'm on screen, which means I can fix it before they see it. Is the feather photo helping to understand what's going on? So
I don't know. It's helping me.
it's helping you.
It's helping me. It's probably helping them. But they'll have to come back and say. I am eating barbecue chips.
I think you wait intentionally to eat.
Or crisps, as they're called in some places in the world.
You wait.
Eve says, yes, the photo helps.
Oh, good. Okay, nice one. Screen. Do I need to zoom in any?
Looks good. See, Grace says she just ate, but now I'm hungry again.
What's funny is now people get to listen to you eat for the rest of eternity. So right here is part of the box. So it's alright that I shaded that in. But I'm going to pay more attention when I get back down here, putting in the shadows so that I can separate them.
Eve says chips for breakfast. That's a strong start for the day. Yeah, not too healthy.
See, this part's lighter. I'm not happy with how this graphite paper transferred.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Huh. I mean, what are you specifically unhappy with? Because what you're doing looks really nice.
Because I don't want to see any of the graphite by the time I'm done burning.
Oh.
And it can, on the lighter burns, show through. And I don't want that. Excuse me. So, that's mainly... These are feathers going this way. So I've got to get in there without...
You've just asked a question about ketchup flavored chips. Yes, they're not common in the U.S. You'd have to go overseas to get them.
No, Canada. Canada has them now.
Okay, that's... You have to go to another country to get them.
There you go.
I don't know why. And they were all over in Germany. And other places I've been too.
I don't know. Because we like our ketchup on french fries.
I suppose.
Alright.
Andrew says the wood looks like it's burning a lot smoother.
Well, I did just sand it down, and I'm on a really low heat. I am on 2. Just enough to get in.
Eve's freaking out about no ketchup flavored chips. Or maybe ketchup on fries. I'm not sure which one.
Oh, that's right. Don't they do mayonnaise up there on fries?
Yeah, they do that in Europe too. That's common.
So this part here is a little darker. So I've got the base burning of the feather. I will go back in and detail it. Let's see here. It is really... We'll zoom it in one more. See if that helps. And then this part of the quill is light, but we do have shading. Right about there. Now we're going to move on to the metal, which the lines are not straight. I'm going to have to...
Eve says it's very common there, even though they have ketchup flavored ringolos. I don't know what a ringolo is. Do you? It's a ringolo. Andrew says, "Can we have Jason in the corner? Can we have me in the corner and screen doing sign language for the hard of hearing?"
I don't know that you want him to do that.
I mean,
who knows what he'd come up with? Okay,
yeah,
so we're going
I
to do the
might
metal.
intentionally offend like a lot of people because they don't know sign language. So I just have to wing it.
So actually, I can bring in my glass. It's dirty, but this is the... I'll zoom back out so people can see better. So this is just the piece of glass that I took from a picture frame. That... Why didn't it take it off? I wanted the feather off. Take the feather off. Off. Transition. There we go. Okay. So this is the piece of glass. It is glass. It's not plexiglass. I took it out of a picture frame. Right here. It's just a little piece. I did not cut it. I did sand the edges with 600 and 800. Just hopefully it's smoother. And taped off two sides so I have something to hold on to, and tape the corners so I'm not poking myself. And I did this versus the mirror in order to see underneath what's going on. Make sure I have things lined up the way I want to.
Paul says the feed is constantly buffering now. Is anybody else having that issue?
Oh no.
Well, maybe on his end, love.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen any kind of issues on our end. It's like normally when it starts buffering for us, like I see it.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that issue.
Okay. So we're still on 2 on the colwood. And right along the edge is dark, but then we have, you know what, I think it might be better if I go this angle so that we can leave the highlight right about there, because metal is just like glass. Hopefully you can see with the lights and the darks.
You mean as far as drawing it?
As far as drawing it, yes.
Oh, okay. Or rendering it. Okay, Grace and Eve are not having buffering issues. Okay. So I'm guessing it's a local issue with Paul. Sorry, Paul.
I can still feel the glass isn't as smooth as I'd like it, but I think it's fine. And I think we can go closer. Thing is there's a highlight right about here, but the burning isn't straight. So on the book, so I have the edge of the burner in there, the tip. It's not very dark because I have it on the
That's
lid.
cool.
This way I can get in there, see where I'm getting. It's kind of a balancing act. You're trying to work at this angle, but it did straighten up that part of the quill. It doesn't look like we have a reflected light underneath. In fact, this area is darker than the book. So
Eve says, that's a cool way to burn a straight line.
And I don't have to worry about anything melting or things being off. And I can see, because even with a ruler you can't really see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But now I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Put this in.
That has multiple applications then. Different mediums.
Yeah, I think you could do it in just about any medium.
Paul says his issues, he thinks there is on his end. And he has confirmed that they have ketchup crisps in the UK. Well, of course you do, Paul.
So the book here is lighter, but I do want to get the burn up to the edge, just so I can straighten my lines.
Hmm.
And then let's put in the next darker one, which is right about, let's see here, we've got a line coming from the tip. Make sure everything's lined up right. Let's see, it's right about there.
Eve says we were all thinking about metal and stuff, and no one mentioned glass. Back with the sunflowers. I think she's talking about when we were talking about masking off with the torch.
Yeah.
Glass would work though. The only issue is that if you use the torch on the glass, it'd be fine.
Handling it.
Well, not just handling it, but also it'll heat. It'll become brittle. And then also, regardless of what happens, it's going to carbon up the glass and you'll have to clean it.
Well, I have thought about trying it just to see. Okay, let's try to get this one in. Trying to make sure that everything's lined up so it's in the right spot. Because we will be burning over it, but there is some darker burn. Yeah, I do like using the glass like this, and it's easy to handle because it's small.
Yeah, and it makes it a really nice line. It's a totally sweet burn. Sweet burn. Huh?
And then I'm gonna go flat.
Yep, have to be careful not to break it. That's what Grace says.
I'm putting on just enough pressure to hold it in place. That part looks like I'm holding it more. So now I know where my straight lines are.
And because you're working at an angle, you do have to keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
It's something people may not be aware of if they're just tuning in, is that you're working at it. What is the angle that your board's at?
I'd say it's about 80.
80 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Build this up. For now, it's where I want it. Just for a base so I can come back. There is some feather that...
Eve says you could tape a handle on it. That is true. I
thought about it, but for now...
I've actually done that with larger, like custom masks that I make for brushing.
Yeah.
I put handles on them. Tape handles.
Huh.
I did that for the Jupiter piece with the curve of Jupiter.
Yeah.
Because it was a really large
I didn't
arc.
realize that.
Yeah. Easier to manage.
Remember to turn your wood, not your body.
I would have tried a clear plastic ruler again. Well.
Don't want to melt the ruler. See, these lines are off, so I'm having to work with them. Underneath is darker than on top. That is so not quiet. That is so not quiet.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. The crunching was loud in my head.
I'm gonna get this even, and then we'll build it up. Because the whole thing does have color. Some of it is brighter. And again, I'm still on 2. I'm just trying to build it up. These will go darker. Now I know where my lines are.
Michael Ann says hi.
Hi, Michael Ann.
No need to apologize.
No need.
You show up when you want to.
Bump this up a little bit.
Okay.
See, I'm not liking that I can see the pencil. That is just really, really bothering me. And like watercolor, once you burn over the top, it is harder to erase.
Oh.
If at all. So I bumped up to almost 3.
Is that because the graphite is like
Trapped.
like heat set in there? Do you think?
I think it's just trapped under the burn. Our metal does, on this part, does get darker than the book. So I'm going to make that happen.
Eve says, would something like alcohol possibly remove more of the graphite?
It does when there's no burning over it. It should. Let's see here. I probably should.
Meg Kern says,
Hey,
hi.
Meg. Zoom that in a little bit. And scoot this over. We're just working on that. There we go. So we're just working right here on the middle. And we're working on the back side, which is darker. Trying to get that 3D effect.
Meg says, just jumping in. Glad I didn't miss the whole thing.
No, haven't been going too long.
Andrew's talking about his history with rulers.
How many has he burned?
I don't know. I'm guessing several, Andrew? I don't know. No, he says, oh no, so I've been told. He's apparently he doesn't have any personal experience with that.
Oh. Well, I do think the glass, and it's thin, so you would, yes, have to worry about the pressure, but...
Andrew says, very impressive, Valarie.
Thank you. Now, I gotta get this kind of curved, because I kind of lost that. And again, this part's still good. In fact, I'm gonna switch over, because I think I'll have an easier time if I switch over to a ball tip. I can get into the area a little easier. This is the Optima.
Okay. Oh, this is the Optima that you're getting ready
Yeah,
to
I'm
use?
switching over to the Optima.
With a ball tip.
Yep, at
Okay.
2.5.
2.5 heat. I'm copying everything. I feel like that you're a sub-commander. Ball tip, 2.5. Aye, Captain.
Alright, make sure I'm on screen.
On screen, Captain.
Oh boy. You notice I started moving the tip before I touched down, and that's just so I don't have a spot showing the touchdown. Slow down to go a little darker. Always move to get that angle.
Paul says it certainly is impressive. I agree.
I gotta get this darker than the book. I don't know how much more this area is going to be darkened, but in the photo, tone-wise, this area is, let's see here. How about the mid-tone of the book?
Andrew says, alcohol. What about the whitest 15-year-old single malt? Will that do the same?
You might get in trouble for that one.
And Michael Ann says, do I hear crunching? I haven't had breakfast. I'm eating barbecue chips.
And I said
or
something,
crisps
and
for those that
said
fly.
he'd be quiet, and thus far,
I am quiet.
except the fact that everybody knows you're eating crisps.
We're in a submarine. All the sounds are amplified.
Doesn't work that way.
If we have to run silent, then I'll stop eating chips. Because of the depth charges.
How do we get in the Navy?
Hmm?
I thought we were an Army family. Alright. Now that part's lighter in the middle, so I'm not wanting to shade all the way to making those connect because they don't.
Well, I'll try and eat quieter food next time. Like, I'm due to make chili again, so I'll eat chili next stream.
I might actually pull out the smaller ball tip because we have even smaller area.
I'll suggest you actually drinking the alcohol to help.
Well, everything looked better then, didn't
That's
it?
what he says. If he drinks enough, then you might blur the line out completely.
Let's see here. This area is not quite as dark as the back, which still needs to be darker. But I do think I'm going to switch over to the smaller tip.
Okay.
Because that will just allow me to get just a little bit.
You know, that's looking really good, love.
Thank you.
I was just...
Oops, sorry, I just hit this. Alright, smaller tip, smaller tip, smaller tip. I mean, we can go really small. Cam like that tip. Give it a try. Because we're getting into the really small areas. Now, you don't have to have all of these tips. But I do think some of these are useful. So I'm going between a pointer, really small, there we go, tip, smaller burn tip, I think that's a smaller one, and then this one, these two are similar, they quit moving, and I think I'm actually going to try this one because we are doing some lines. So I'm gonna pop the big ball tip off. Boink. I do think colwood has the best interchangeable tips. Okay, so this is pointed. I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. I think this one is called, I don't know. Alright, so this one is going to make very thin. You have to be careful because it will indent the wood because there's not a whole lot of surface area that's touching down.
That looks like a very fine tip.
Yeah, it is.
You're showing the tip. It looks good now, but when you go like close to the screen, it's blurry.
So how's that? Okay, I'm just testing the tip before I touch down. Blow on it for a second, and this will allow us to get really fine So I can straighten out these lines that I didn't transfer. In fact, I'm going to bump this down to 2.5 because it is a small tip. It heats up quicker, and a bit more.
Science.
Yeah. These lines out. I prefer to have the transfer accurate, so I'm not trying to adjust. Sometimes things just happen. So I do think that has made it a little sharper in detail. Which is what I'm going for. Just to sharpen it up.
Your pen is close to being off screen.
Huh. Oh, there we go. Because I'm so zoomed in, it throws things off. So now,
Apparently Michael Ann was counting down for you to touch down with your pen.
so I can straighten things up. It's also good for hair and fur. So we'll give that a try when we do the feather detail. This area is not very dark, but there is a bit of brown line on top.
Andrew is asking, he says, wow, how thin is that nib?
It's like a, let's see here. If I had to, the closest thing I have to judge this, I guess, would be the 0.01 micron tip. I think that's...
What about, like, common household objects? Like, how does it compare to, like... Okay, now I gotta think of a common household object.
See, that's why I went with the micron pen.
What about, like a regular ink pen tip? Smaller?
Actually about the same.
About the same? Okay.
Yeah. Well, here. Maybe this will... It's actually smaller than the tip of a...
So, Eve has a question. Could someone do reverse pyrography by torching a whole panel and then sand in with a Dremel to get back to the lights?
Yep.
Yeah. It'd be like scratchboard.
Scratchboard. It'd be like what I did with the sunflower.
Paul's asking if you can burn out your nasal hair with it.
I wouldn't try it, but here, you can try it. There you go. Did it work?
Oh.
I was putting it up to the screen so that he could...
I was watching the wrong screen. I was like, I don't get it.
I put it up to the screen so that he could utilize...
So somewhere in the UK, Paul has his face smashed up against the screen.
Screaming because it's so hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Wow, this just got real.
Let's see here. There is a little darkness right here, and then other than maybe a little bit more shading, I would say this part is done.
That looks really nice. Andrew says, thanks. 0.01. Oh, another thing on my Santa's list. Michael Ann says, ow, my eye.
Aw, you were supposed to move your eye. It was for Paul's nose. Alright, so for now we're going to leave it. Again, it's going to have to be altered. This will get darker a little bit based on the photo. And I don't think I can, well, actually I do. I can make this just a little bit bigger so you can hopefully see the detail. There we go. I should have done that first. You can see a little bit more of the detail, how this part of the quill is darker. Really not a cast shadow light right there. And we have some highlight here. This can go This area can go darker, but I'm not going to touch it with this tip because it's going to make little dimples in it. Almost like stippling.
Mm.
And stippling's not what I want for this one right now.
Andrew says, my tips looks like knitting needles with the side of yours. Like in comparison to.
Well,
you know, this is looking really classy.
yeah.
It'd be a good hardcore artist tattoo. What do you want on your show? Still life, yo.
Still like, well, this is kind of like a tattoo needle.
Yep.
Alright, I bumped down the heat to 1.5. It's going to be really, really light.
Paul says it's only darker because it's not as light.
Yep. I'm going to start putting in some of the feathers. This allows me to get into the little areas. But I'm not liking how it's doing this part of the wood. So, I am going to, let's see here, I'm going to move what we're working on. There we go.
And Andrew says, one word, Valarie, incredible work. Okay, more than one word.
Thank you. Let's see here. We have feather. That is a little raised here. These are really fine in this area. And some of this is going to be negative burning with the box in order to get them. We do have some feather lines. But I'm just thinking how I'm going to get this in there. Let's see here. Because it's not smooth. I just make really tiny lines. And I can always come back and burn over it. But it does kind of score the wood.
Is that desirable or no?
Well, it's gonna, any of the tips I use are gonna score the wood, but this is almost more scoring than burning. But if I switch over to the fir tip, that's gonna be too thick. But you know what? Let's see what it looks like.
Okay. So you're switching again?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over to the fir tip. The Optima fir tip is smaller.
Okay.
So.
Which
The Optima.
you're using Optima?
Sorry, didn't mean to bounce the camera. Alright. Put that at a 2. It should burn thin, so. Oh, well, it helps if I turn that off. I'm just waiting for it to heat up. Alright. Let's see how this does. And I'm going to draw it upwards. The darkness is down on the bottom. Why is the computer talking to us?
It wants to know what happens to your removable drives. Do you have something plugged in? Oh, you got a hard drive plugged in. Why is it just registering now?
It does it every so often. I don't know.
Oh.
So I'm trying to keep with the direction of the feather.
That looks really nice. I like that.
Some places to offset the weight of the line.
Okay.
Turning the board to keep my angle.
That's a control thing, right? Easier for you to control the line if the board's turned that way.
It's just easier so you're not trying to turn your wrist and hand. It's easier to turn the board versus your hand.
Eve says, I love how some tips look like tools from other crafts, like this loop one from sculpting or the needle tip from yarn needles. Yeah. Actually, there's the loop also looks like something we use in ceramics.
Yeah.
For carving.
See, my angle's a little off because the feather starts going up a little bit.
Well, your mug is in the best kiln.
Oh yay!
So it's getting fired right now.
What did it do wrong? Fired.
Humor.
Sometimes I do go just back and forth without lifting the tip, and it kind of fills in. It scrapes across.
So this is your techniques that you're using are like, this is from experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So you really
how I normally do it.
So you really have to get the feel of the tool.
It's practice. That is the biggest thing with wood burning is practice.
Yeah. Well,
oh, speaking of, I was on Facebook again. Ugh, maybe I should stop doing Facebook.
You shouldn't go there.
I shouldn't go there. Well, I was in another pyrography group, just reading posts and liking people's pictures, and giving advice when it was asked for. And somebody asked how to burn a smooth background, that they were having problems with it, which is definitely legitimate. I mean, all questions are legitimate, but definitely a good question. And another person answered with something that about floored me on how they do it. And let's just say this time I did not keep my opinions to myself. This person was suggesting to the other person to put permanent, what they do is put, if they're burning a dark background, they put black permanent marker down first.
What?
And then burn over that.
That's crazy talk.
And I tried to explain to her, and I even went and pulled data sheets from the companies.
The MSDSs?
Yep. I pulled them for all the main companies like Sharpie, that make like Sharpie and other permanent markers. And all of them say to keep away from flammable, not to use with heat, and this would not constitute a normal use of their product. And I explained this to the person and tried to help them come up with. I explained to them the dangers of doing this, so that's why I'm bringing this up. Please do not burn over any color media. I don't care what it is. All of them can, even if they say not non-toxic, they can become toxic when you apply heat to them, because that's not how they were produced. They were not produced to have heat unless it's something specific. But the stuff that we would use to color wood burning, none of those were made to heat up. Now, inks that I've shown heat set, and so in that way the heat is safe. It is not safe to burn over it. And I did not get a very nice response back of basically that's the way they're going to keep doing it. And because I did ask politely to not suggest this to anybody else. And I was told that they were basically going to keep suggesting it. It was up to the other person to decide if that's the way they want to do it. And that is the biggest reason why I'm bringing it up. A person new to burning does not know these things. And I did point it out to that person because he was telling the other person that, you know, it's stinky, but that it works. And I pointed out how her setup for the fan actually lowers the temperature of our tip, you need to flip the fan backwards to draw the smoke away. But even if you're using a fan, it's still toxic. And if you can smell it, you're inhaling it.
Yep.
Anyway, I did not get a response back. I did ask very nicely yet again and pointed out I was asking nicely not to suggest this to people. That if he chooses to do it, well, there's nothing I can do about it. But please don't tell other people to do this.
Chat's in widespread agreement with you. So they're talking about that right now. Michael Ann has a question. How long have you done pyrography?
This is my 12th year.
Okay. And Mark says hi.
Hi, Mark. Soup can?
Yep.
Hey, Soup can. What's funny is only Cat knows why soup can is used.
And Eve is actually, well, Eve and Paul are, because Andrew can't hear you, so they're actually translating everything you said in the chat. So
how nice
thank you
of
very
them.
much, guys. That's very cool.
That is so awesome. I bumped up the heat to just shy of 3, and I'm using the very tip of this to kind of just...
And Eve says, we all know here how to get a smooth background, thanks to Val and our favorite tool. I wonder what that could be.
I don't know. He does seem to love it. Maybe I need to send her one.
I think you need to do another torch video soon.
I got so much on my plate.
Then burn it with the torch. Burn it with fire.
I'm not liking how I'm burning this part. Now that I've got some grooves down, I am going to switch back over, I think, to the round flat I was using.
Okay.
To kind of get a better shading.
The round
a little
flat.
Smoother.
Which burner are you using?
Colwood.
Colwood.
Is what I'm switching back to, is what I started with.
And the round flat. So what is that again? Was that the tip you started out with?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's lost. Where did I put it? See if I can find it. I thought... That's a small tip. What did I do with it?
Uh-oh.
I'm throwing things.
Wait.
Please.
Yes, I know my job.
Oh.
My secondary job.
It is.
Tool fetching boy.
Oh, it is not.
Tool boy, I've thrown my stuff again. Fetch it for me.
It's not the same tip, but thank you. I do want to use this tip instead because it's a little thinner. So you're not my tool boy. I didn't mean to throw it. I wasn't trying to. Alright. Let's get this going. So anyway, I just wanted to just mention, please do not... Adding color to your burning is the very last thing to do. Then sealing. But the creation part of the art, the last part, is adding color. Okay, so I got this, and it's burning hotter than I expected on that piece. Okay, this is just shy of a 2, and we're going to start getting... See, this one burns a different color on this wood, and I'm not sure why it does that. Because I'm not liking how that burned right there. Let's see if we can kind of blend it in. And see, these colors turn a different shade, just a different color actually altogether that I've never seen. And I don't know why they are oxidizing differently. So let's try to blend that in. And I'm trying to hide the pencil lines. It can always be frustrating, especially if you're trying to go for a lighter burn. Throw my pen tip. I dropped it. My hand didn't want to work. Alright. The faster I go, the lighter I can get the burn.
You say that, but you know I'll be fetching more stuff.
I'm not throwing
in the future.
It was not intentional. It slipped from my hand. My hands are swollen today.
I know.
Having a bit of an owie day.
Grace had an autocorrect problem.
Uh-oh.
She was thanking Mark or not thanking him. She was referencing a video that he had, and she said the ink toner video, and then I was like, ink toner video? Is that a commercial? I was thinking about it. She says, no. Correct, Inktober. But I think we should call it ink toner. It sounds so much more. You participating in the ink toner? Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Actually, I haven't yet, though.
Well, technically.
Wait, because you're supposed to do one every day, so
yeah.
I've already failed that, haven't I?
We both have.
Wah, wah, wah.
I've just got so much on my plate. So do you.
I know.
You got class stuff to get done.
I know.
But you can post whenever. You gotta get your painting ready for the art show that you only found out about yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
The drop off tomorrow.
That's okay.
Trying to deepen up this side. I probably will go back with one of the sharp tips to kind of define more of the feather. The lines. I'm not exactly sure what to. I mean, is the center of the barb?
What?
The center of the feather. Remember, I couldn't remember what to call the center that's light. Is that a barb? Or is that...
It's a quill.
Barbs on
No, the base of the quill is called a barrel.
Barrel. Oh, okay.
That's the base. The top of the feather is called the tip. Of the feather.
Okay, Yankee Doodle.
I made that up. But it might be true.
Okay, Yankee Doodle.
What?
Stuck a feather in his cap.
No, I want macaroni. Chili mac.
You just eat.
I can make chili mac. I have all
Please
this
don't.
stuff.
Please don't.
What? Why not?
You don't like it.
You don't like chili mac?
No.
Oh.
Oh,
That
I'm
makes me
sorry.
sad.
You can make it for you.
Well, then I will.
Well, then fine. You can have it all to yourself.
Alright. I'm getting sidetracked here. Alright, Mark asks, question.
Yes, please.
Are you planning on doing anything with the background?
There will be a light shading in this area. Here, I got a smaller picture that has the shadow from. It's probably easier if I just did this. We shall take that away and we shall put in that one. There's a light shadow that is from how I set up the light. I did that intentionally because I did want some background shadow. And I touched down while that was too hot, but it's okay. Blend it out. This is where the artistic part comes in. Can get a little bit. That's okay.
Apparently the mention of chili mac is making Grace hungrier.
Well, you're the one doing it.
Sorry, Grace. That's what I do.
What's funny is people are going to think you eat all the time. And you
I know.
don't.
They'd be like, this guy's must be gigantic.
No.
I was telling Corinne about the street chicken that I was making, that I made last week.
Yeah.
The Iraqi street chicken.
Mm-hmm.
She said it sounded like a gang.
God. Iraqi street chicken.
Street chickens for life.
Let's see here. I want to take that off and put that back on. There we go. Okay. See what we're doing. See, I accidentally touched down a little hotter there, but I think that's okay. Just gives it a little more dimension. And we do want to darken this up a little bit. There we go.
Now Grace is going to get snacks. Andrew says,
snacks.
Sorry to hear about your hands. Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just one of those days. But thank you, Andrew. I think it's one of those days.
It's okay. I know you make yourself feel better by throwing stuff at the door.
I didn't throw it. My hand dropped it. The weather keeps changing here back and forth, and so my body's not too happy about it.
It's quite nice right now.
It is nice.
It's a little chilly.
I'm not cold though, which is a surprise. Normally you're cold or normally you're warm and I'm cold. Alright, let's get that kind of.
Whenever I'm cold, it's legitimate because of where I'm from.
You can't claim that anymore though.
Yes, I can.
You haven't lived in Alaska since when?
That's where I'm from.
Okay, that's where you spent your childhood, yes.
Okay.
Let's see here, where are
I'm
we?
also from the Middle East.
Well, you only spent 5 years there, so you're not
true.
from there either. You've spent the same amount
I'm
of time
from Germany.
here. Well, you did spend quite a bit, almost 12 years in Germany. Alright, so we do need to put in the quill part, but we have to keep it light.
Keep it light.
Keep it light.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow, that's looking good.
I hope the pictures are helping. See, it's still bothering me that there's so much pencil that I cannot.
Mark is asking for us not to say snacks. It's one of the words that makes him cringe, like moist and
Ow.
tablet.
So you say them. Huh.
It's my job. I got one job. Well, 2 jobs. Reach out
Shall I throw something
and to
for
fetch
you?
stuff. Yes, my liege.
No, I'm not your liege. I'm not your liege. Alright, so there is some.
Paul is actually piling on with that, so never mind. I won't read it.
Oh, yes, he.
Oh, never mind. Poor soup can. They're just
Aw.
assaulting him with all the words he doesn't like now. I didn't do this.
No, you didn't do this. They're just stinkers. Luckily, he just has to read them. He doesn't have to hear them.
Oh, those toasties.
Those toasties. Now, the line of the book does show a little bit. I didn't put it in before because I didn't want to mess it up. But, you know what? This would be a good time to use. Dun, dun, dun. Our straight edge.
Andrew says, I feel bad about you being in pain and still willing to go ahead with your live lessons.
Oh, I got to burn anyway, so might as well sit and hang out with you guys.
Besides that, nothing can stop you.
Please. That's
You're
not
like
true.
the Terminator on Energizer batteries.
That's not. Then the batteries must be dying.
Oh,
Aw,
so sad.
so sad.
Don't do that.
Well, no, what I mean is, because I'm definitely not the Energizer Bunny. That's all. That's all I mean.
Oh.
I don't mean anything else. Okay, so we got the straight line in. I think I lined it up right. Got this right. I think we did. And the book does go up a little bit right here. So, actually, how off are we? Let's see here. I can flip the tip so that I get just the tip. More of a straight line.
That's an interesting nib. Because it's the way that it's attached to the pen is like bent in an arc.
Mm-hmm. It's just easier to control.
Now, did you do that or did it come like that?
No, it comes like that.
Huh.
There we go. I can't throw that. So now it's a little straighter. And I can burn and throw it off again. It's okay. That's fine. So it is a little straighter in that area. Okay, so we do know that this part is darker on the feathers, so let's get that in there.
You definitely need to read chat when you're done today before you close it out.
I always try to read chat before I close it.
Yeah.
I like seeing all the funny stuff they talk about.
Oh, there's so much today.
Is there? Are they in a mood?
I think they're always in a mood.
Oops. Let's see here, make sure I'm on the screen. And I have 2 collaborations coming up. Get my part done. Looking forward to that. Can I tell them about the other thing?
Sure.
Well, Eve knows. They did not accept my artwork this year for its elemental. I am definitely bummed. A little calmer now. I wasn't happy when I read that email.
No, you were not.
Well, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this is the reason because I don't know the reason, but the judges that they had during the pieces this year, none of them work with wood. And so I do have a strong feeling that they didn't know what pyrography was, or didn't see it as good enough for the show.
No.
Every time that there's been a jury where there was at least one woodworker on it, they knew what was. I think they knew what was going on, and were able to look at it differently.
Yeah. Oh, and like I reminded you, you know, it's always hard when you're in a juried show because it really is subjective. You know, you'd like to think that the jurors are completely impartial and, you know, that every piece gets weighed evenly, you know, for its own merits. And that's the ideal. But in reality, you know, pretty much every juried show that you go to, you're always going to be subject to, you know, human opinion, you know, to what each juror brings. And that's just part of the business.
I know. This is the first it's elemental since I started doing it that I will not be in.
I know, but that's okay because it's next show. You just have more to show.
Yeah.
Grace actually says, and she made a good comment. She says we're the best behaved of any live stream. That's actually true.
Yes.
Like we really appreciate the community, like how good the community is, and it's so important because it sucks when you have like trolls and you have people that are just
Rude to each other.
yeah, rude and, you know, impolite. Same thing. But you know, this community is actually very, very good, very positive community. So we appreciate you very much.
Oh, I love our chat.
Yeah.
We have awesome people. And not everybody burns, but everybody
Wow.
is still participating.
Michael Ann says that I have to say this is my favorite live show.
Oh.
That is a huge compliment.
Well, thank you.
That is amazing. So thank you very much.
I don't mind that we have a smaller community in here because I think people get to interact more.
Yeah, I agree.
And be heard and feel like they belong. I hope is what we are.
Yeah,
Everyone's
should feel
feeling.
like it should feel like home.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So
Grace says we're a little snarky but behaved.
I don't mind you guys being adults in the chat because, well, you're adults.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's fine with what's being said, I don't mind.
Yeah, I would rather have a small interactive community rather than just a ton of people. You know,
I agree.
it becomes chaotic. You guys are the best.
Yes, they are. And we have the best mods. Even Paul. I don't worry at all with even Paul in here.
Yeah.
And you're a mod too.
I know. But thanks to Chad, I really don't have to do anything but read comments and fetch your thrown tools.
I didn't throw it! Okay, so this is later, and I'm trying to figure out how, because it would be more of a negative burn in this area, and there is a bit of burning where it's...
You shut up, Paul.
What did Paul do?
He's just teasing me. So Eve's trying to turn the chat conversation back to cats.
Oh.
That's no surprise.
That is no surprise.
You know, and one of the pieces that didn't get accepted was Eddie.
Yeah, it was Eddie.
And that was a really beautiful piece.
Actually, we can show that one is completely finished now.
Really? Where is it?
It's behind you.
Where have you thrown it?
I did not throw it!
Okay, so before you close out chat,
yeah,
we'll show Eddie.
Okay, so now we need to get a little bit of our heating in here. I've bumped it down to below 1 because it's not dark. Probably should have given the tip time to cool off, but that's okay. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm going to get right up along here. Hopefully you can see alright. Now, I'm not going to burn over the pencil because if I burn over the pencil, I will never get it out. So I'll burn next to it and hope that I can scratch some stuff out. So the feathers go in all different directions. Blowing the tip to cool it off before I touch down.
Grace is she says, what? That's on watercolor paper. Speaking about Eddie, how did they not accept it? Oh wow, soup can.
What does soup can do?
So in the 80s, I was excluded from competitions because I was an airbrush artist. At that time, it was not considered traditional art. I said, you know what? I am right there with you. I have worked diligently to try and educate, artist friends of mine about what an airbrush is, and I hate that. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic.
No, it's fine.
Because when you use an airbrush, or when something looks good, it's like, it's almost dismissive. It's like, oh, how did you do the background? Is that airbrush? It's like, yeah, part of it's airbrush. And it's like, as soon as you say yes to it, it almost, like, in a lot of people's minds, it almost delegitimizes it. They're like, oh, it's airbrush. Oh, okay. Whatever. And what I've tried to do is explain that an airbrush is no different than a fan brush or, filbert or, a round. It's just a different kind of brush that has a specific effects. That's a time saver, and it doesn't detract from the work. And I hate that label, and it just bugs me. So anyway, you were saying something about the watercolor paper before I rudely interrupted.
No, you didn't rudely interrupt.
Okay.
Actually, It's Elemental is specifically for non-traditional, what's considered non-traditional art, wood, metal, jewelry, sculpture, glass, fabric, paper. So it's not for an oil painting or an acrylic painting. It's for others.
Right, and the theme of the show is, using different elements, and of course wood has always been a category. In fact, your first time in the show, you won Best of Wood. Mm-hmm. So
this was my 4th year entering.
Did we already mention that you won People's Choice at the Coconino Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nope, after it happened. Up on the feathers.
Sukian's giving me bro hugs.
Yeah, something going
right
on there
at
we
you.
need to talk about.
What?
Well, Steve's live. I gotta inform
mean-
you two are having a bromance.
You mean the mind of watercolor?
Yes. Yes. Our wonderful Steve.
Oh yeah. And also, Grace and Eve are upset because they rejected a picture of a cat.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
That's apparently a cardinal sin.
I had to kind of give myself some time to chill out.
Yeah. Paul says cave painting wasn't considered traditional art in the early Stone Age. Sometimes things never change. Yeah. Huh. Zog used paint, not hammer. Your art not real. Huh.
Yeah.
Non-traditional. Not legitimate, Zog.
Look, I think I'm actually gonna finish something in a live.
Well, I think that's amazing. Well, Andrew says he's really shocked. Actually, when you go back and read chat, it says everybody is actually really shocked and upset that you didn't get in it. And they're talking about the quality of your work in a good way. Andrew says, it's really shocked me. I'm so sorry. The judges have thick black markers in their top pocket. No, different subject.
Different subject.
Different people.
I wish everybody who did get into the show the best of luck. Because I know how I am, I won't be going to the show. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I might get cranky. And I don't want to get cranky. I am very competitive. I will admit that.
What?
What? You say that every time. I will admit that. But I would assume just kind of chill out this year. We still have to put the Halloween stuff up. I'll work on the bison. Because I submitted the bison, the sunflowers, and Eddie. Which I have not put finished photos of the sunflowers either.
Notice the trend that Eve sometimes acts a little bit like Paul's mom. When Paul says stuff and she's like, Paul.
Alright. This again will have to get adjusted.
Grace says we accept your crankiness.
Let's see
That's
here.
looking really, really amazing, in my opinion.
Let's switch this up. There we go. So, I do have, I'll put together the speed burning for the glass bottle. I only had to spend another 30 minutes on it.
What are we wrapping up?
Yeah.
Oh, when do you want to see Eddie?
Give me 2 seconds to get my brain switched. Alright, I did want to do...
Here, I'll just put that there for you.
That's fine. Let's see here. Let's zoom in. Hopefully that's still... Sorry.
What'd you do?
I hit the camera. So, we have more of a metal look going on down here at the bottom. It does still need to be darkened. All of it still needs to be darkened as everything gets put in. But this is the base. I did not burn in the white part at all.
Soup Can says, looking fantastic, Valarie.
Thank y'all. I do think parts of the feather up here need to be darkened, but for now, until we get the box in, it's harder for me to see where I want everything to go. So, because they all got to work together. There we go. So that's where we are now. So all we have left is the book, the shadow on the wall, and any tightening up.
Okay.
And then it's done.
Okay, cool.
Oh, well, I'll add some white to it, I think, for highlight. And then, hopefully this will fit in the screen.
Paul says every time you mention Eddie, I think of Iron Maiden.
So this is my version.
But think of like your Eddie in the Iron Maiden albums, like on the cover. That would just make it so different.
Let's see, I'm going to back it out a little bit.
He says, I love the feather. The fuzzy bit is so perfect. Oh, yeah, I was trying to remember the name of that. That's the fuzzy bit.
The fuzzy bit?
Yeah. Mark says, run to the hills, Paul. Run to the hills.
All right, and here's Eddie with the watercolor and his whiskers in. Hopefully we can see that okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I lost some of the burning on this. It's not as loose as I wanted it, but that's okay. So Eddie's done. I just need to matte him. The white is kind of having an issue showing up. Well, maybe not.
Oh, that came up really good and on live. Looks really nice.
There we go. So
Eve says it's
the
so
color is a
pretty.
little off, though. His eyes are a brighter green. I don't know if it's the lighting.
I think that it's. I mean, yeah, that's a little off. And,
Yeah.
Michael Ann says, "Well." Grace says, "Eddie looks so good."
Thank
and Andrew
you.
says, "Brilliant work, impressive to say the least."
Do you want to grab the sunflower?
The sunflower.
It's right here.
Sure. Where'd you throw it?
Yeah, I didn't throw it.
Living mice.
Okay. Well, thanks to Eve, because I was not happy with how the sunflower turned out. Oh, now it's all dusty.
Michael Ann says, "Love the bright colors on Eddie."
This is the sunflower. And yes, it appears upside down because I flipped it upside down. Hopefully. Back out a little bit.
Sukian says, "Beautiful work. Wow."
Thank y'all.
They actually haven't seen the sunflower yet. This is all regarding to Eddie.
No. So, that is... And on the sunflower, it has been sprayed sealed with 2 pretty heavy layers, just so I could knock down the shine, and because I can't seal directly, paint over the color directly.
Grace says, "Nice."
I used the marker, colored pencil, gourd ink, and pastel pencils.
Michael Ann says, "Ooh."
So...
Paul says, "Eddie is ace. He's almost photographic." I agree. Oh, Sukian says, "Thanks for a great live, everyone. Got to get back to work. Take care and thank you. Cheers."
Thanks, Mark.
Bye, Sukian.
Bye, Sukan. So, that is where we are. I gotta get the 2 awesome collaborations done. Oh, one is going to be a fantasy tree of life with some Celtic feel into it. And the other one is a bear cub. And I should have that up on the 10th.
Okay.
So, do we have any more questions?
I don't know.
Where we're
Give
at.
Chad a second.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Well, we're going to go ahead and end it there. We're at an hour and 25 minutes. And look, I got the base part of something done.
That's awesome. So we're getting ready to be done?
Yeah.
So the submarine is going to submerge.
We are submerging.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe. Our community is growing. We're over 1,100 now. And I got to get the giveaway done. Happy burning, guys.
Dive.
Bye.